We're going to be installing a new set of levers on my 2014 Kawasaki Ninja 300. We'll be replacing them with a set of Vortex V3 2.0 levers. Link in the description. Sizes you'll need for this are a 10mm ratchet, and then a 10mm wrench and 8mm wrench for the lock nuts. Start by loosening the bolt and lock nut that holds the lever to the clutch perch. On the bottom, there'll be a lock nut that needs to be unthreaded. And then the bolt also threads onto the clutch perch separately, so you'll also need to loosen that before it'll slide out. Then loosen the cable adjuster at the lever to be able to get enough slack to pull the lever off of the clutch perch. The end of the cable hooks on a slot on the clutch lever. Now for the brake lever. No cable adjuster to mess with, simply just loosen the lock nut and bolt to remove the lever. Now, some levers may come pre-assembled. These Vortex levers do have a couple of pieces that have to be put together, so I'll show you how to do that now. With everything unboxed, you'll see we have the lever, the bracket, a spring, a little plastic tool that's for installing the nut, and then this bolt and bushing here that you'll have to remove off the lever to assemble it to the bracket. Start by putting the spring into the slot on the lever. Place the bushing into this bracket, and then slide the two together, making sure that the spring lands into the recessed portion of the bracket. To get it fully together, it helps to put the adjuster all the way to the smallest setting. Then assemble it together using the bolt and nut. They do provide you with the plastic wrench for the nut, however you'll need an Allen key to tighten it together. You'll feel that the lever has a little bit of play. That's normal. Go ahead and just check it out and make sure that the adjuster goes all the way back and forth with no problems. Then you're ready to install it on the bike. Clean any grime or grease left behind, and then go ahead and put a little bit of grease onto the bracket and the bolt also. Any type of all-purpose grease will do just fine. Then tighten everything up. Bolt threads into the perch separately from the nut, So I like to thread that in first and make sure it's good and tight, and then do the lock nut last. Then just use your 2 wrenches to back up the bolt and tighten the lock nut. Now for the clutch lever. I like to build my confidence before installing any new parts on my bike by first struggling to open the box it came in. Then just assemble everything like we did on the brake side. When installing your clutch lever, just be careful not to accidentally break your clutch switch. This little plunger goes in and out as a sensor to let your bike's computer know whether your clutch is in or out, and they're kind of delicate. So make sure you have enough slack out on your cable to fit the end of your cable back into your lever, just like when you took things off. And for your clutch switch, you'll probably have to depress that plunger a little bit to slide the end of the lever over it. And then bolting everything together is the same as the brake side. Thread the bolt all the way down first and make sure it's tight, and then do the lock nut last. With everything bolted up, the last thing you'll need to do is adjust your clutch free play. Let's talk about clutch free play for just a moment and why it's important. Too little clutch free play could be a big problem, because that would mean that with your clutch lever fully released, the lever may be contacting the perch before your plates actually fully engage, which would cause clutch slip and prematurely wear out your clutch. Too much clutch free play is also a problem, because that would mean with the lever fully pulled in, it may not be fully disengaging your clutch plates, which can also cause clutch slip. Every bike's a little different, but for our bike and most others, about 2 to 4 millimeters measured between the lever and the perch is a pretty good rule of thumb. There's 2 points for adjusting your clutch. On the other end of the cable, there's one adjuster on the side of your clutch cover for major adjustments. For finer adjustments, you can use the screw shown here by the lever. The large nut you see there is a lock nut to hold things in place. Loosen that first, and then the small nut will screw in and out, either adding or taking away clutch play. Once you get it where you like it, make sure you tighten the lock nut to hold things in place, and just snug it up with a small pair of pliers. And that's it. With everything installed, Just be sure to test both levers out and make sure everything's working properly before you go for a ride.